In 1980, America felt steady. Streets were calm, routines looked strong, and men did their jobs without complaint. But beneath that surface, nearly 1 man in every 13 was out of work, and those with jobs carried silent burdens they never named. Why did so many men feel trapped by roles they could not question? The hidden struggles began long before anyone could speak of them. Neighborhoods, in 1980, carried a quiet order. Mornings brought the sound of engines warming up and men heading out before sunrise, coffee in hand. Rows of classic cars lined driveways. Factory gates opened to streams of workers, while office towers filled with men in pressed shirts and ties. Streets looked steady, lawns trimmed, families gathering for dinner as the sky turned dark. On the surface, life seemed secure. But calm, the jobless rate hovered near 7.5%. Towns built around steel or auto plants saw layoffs send worry through entire blocks. Even men with steady work felt the weight of uncertainty. They drove long distances to jobs, knowing a single pink slip could change everything. The steady rhythm of daily life masked the pressure pressing in from all sides. Outward stability. But inside, a quiet strain that few dared to name. Unspoken rules shaped the lives of men in 1980. From an early age, boys learned not to cry, not to complain, not to show fear. Sociologists like Joseph Pleck describe these rules as a kind of invisible code. Never admit weakness. Always provide. Stay strong no matter what. By adulthood, most men knew what was expected. Keep emotions locked away, take pride in being reliable, and never let anyone see you struggle. Popular advice columns and best-selling books like Real Men Don't Eat Quiche poked fun at the idea of men showing softness, but the message was clear. Even in politics, toughness was celebrated. Ronald Reagan's campaign called for Americans to stand firm and push through hard times. These standards left little room for doubt or rest. Most men believed the only way forward was to keep going, no matter the cost. Underneath it all, the pressure to measure up never let go. Ron G. finished his night shift at the Dodge plant, hands still stained from the line. He drove nearly 18 miles back through dark, empty streets, headlights slicing the quiet. In 1980, drives like his were common. Most men traveled over 16 miles each way, every day, just to keep a job. For Ron and thousands like him, work rarely ended with the factory whistle. On weekends, nearly a quarter of men in manufacturing took extra shifts, hoping overtime would keep them off the layoff list. Sundays meant fixing the family car in the driveway or patching up the house, even when exhaustion pressed in. Rest was never promised. Every hour felt spoken for by the boss, by the bills, by the unspoken duty to provide. At the kitchen table, late at night, Ron sat in silence, the weight of another week already settling on his shoulders. Harold T. left the downtown office after sunset, briefcase in hand, shoulders tense. He wrote to an advice column in 1980, one of over 200 men that year who put pen to paper instead of speaking aloud. His letter read, "I do my duty, but I feel alone. I can't tell my wife. She needs me steady." The reply, blunt and familiar, was to talk to your priest, not your family. Most men never sent a letter at all. They kept silence, even as the pressure built. Doctors began to notice the toll. Studies from the National Institutes of Health found that men between 35 and 55 faced a 20% higher risk of heart disease compared to the decade before. Stress and silence worked together, wearing down the body as well as the mind. Late at night, men like Harold sat in quiet kitchens, staring at cold coffee, the weight of unspoken worry pressing in. The cost of silence was real, etched into the heart, hidden from view. John S. spent his days fixing things, furnaces, gutters, broken fences, anything that kept him busy after the Timken mill cut shifts in June 1980. He wasn't alone. Across Ohio and the Midwest, men who once counted on steady work now scrambled for side jobs, mowing lawns or patching roofs for cash. Labor force participation among prime-age men had slipped from 97% in the late 1960s to just over 92% by 1980. The numbers hinted at something deeper, a slow withdrawal as jobs vanished and routines broke down. At home, tension sometimes boiled over. Police logs in Canton recorded a 30% rise in bar fights that summer, often after layoffs or plant closures. John's wife remembered him sitting at the kitchen table, staring at his hands, silent for hours. In later years, surveys found that 60% of men from that era wished they had spoken up about their doubts or regrets. But in 1980, most kept quiet, feeling trapped by a path they could not leave, holding on to the hope that showing up every day was enough. Even now, many men carry silent burdens shaped decades ago. As open conversation grows, old habits remain hard to break. The cost of unspoken struggle still echoes in families today.